Hello YouTube artists, I'm Kelly Hernig and welcome to In the Studio. Today we're going to play around with some Fuumuui watercolors. These are the solid watercolors, they're opaque. Wait till you see the colors. Oh my god, they're amazing. And then I'm going to be painting some leaves. Look at that great hole in one. And then I've added this little hippo guy to look like he's swinging on the leaves because I just think he's really charming, and I want him to be kind of pink, so you'll see the pink color. There's 24 of these colors. They come like this. They have a great little color guide. They're all grays, so this line is red gray, brown gray, green gray, blue gray, cold gray, purple gray, warm gray, and yellow gray. And I'm going to show you the actual swatches. I've already swatched. So you'll notice too, each one there's like a 10%, 50%, and maybe 100%. That's kind of how they're all laid out. So each color has 3 values. These are the colors. Aren't they gorgeous? So for me, this is the kind of palette I dream about. The only thing that's really missing for me is a yellow, like a yellow ochre color, right? Or maybe like a raw sienna. This they call their yellow gray, but I would like something a little brighter, and then I think I would really have a full palette, maybe a orange in there as well. But I absolutely love these colors. So this is the red gray, the brown gray, the green gray, the blue gray, the yellow gray, the warm gray, the purple gray, and the cold gray. I want my little hippo to be in the pink colors. I just think that that would be really charming. And the leaves here, even though they are like kind of a muted burnt sienna, not really, they're kind of colorless, almost like a brown gray, I guess, pretty close. There's their brown gray up there. But what I'm gonna do is, I really like this blue gray. I wanna play with the blue, the green, and maybe the brown, maybe those 3, or maybe these 3 here, just to see what they're going to look like in the leaves. But the hippo, I know I want to be pink. It's just going to be charming. I've got it all drawn on here. So these leaves go like this. This one goes like this. And I've got my little guy on the swing right here. And I've got like a flat swing that he's on. So the hippo's about that size right there. So it looks like it's swinging off of these leaves, which is going to be really cute. I'm going to be using my Princeton Aqua Elite brush, the number 8 long round, just because of the point. I should be able to get into these little shapes really well, even with the little hippo here. And I've got my lines pretty dark, so I'm going to just take a kneaded eraser and I'm just going to lightly dab. I don't like to see my lines through my paintings a lot of times, so I want to make sure though that you can see them. So I always do them a little darker than I'm wanting to do. I'm going to start here with the hippo just because I want to make sure that he has plenty of time to dry so that we can come back and add shadows to him. And I'm going to make you a little closer, make it look a little bigger here. The only bad thing about this is look how big this palette is. It is huge, but I'm going to just start with I want the light pink here. These are a little opaque in color. There's a lot of white in here, so I want to make sure that I add a lot of water. I want it to smooth and blend and not look hard at all. Oh my god, look how cute this color is, you guys. He's adorable. I should say she since I'm making her pink. I'm going to touch into the second value here and just add a little bit under the arms. Just trying to get a little bit of value in there while it's still wet. There we go. Gonna splash just a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna work from the big leaf up here, and I'm gonna try to keep my hand out of the hippo. Notice that I said try. Okay, I want the brown, the blue, and the yellow. I'm gonna put a line going through the center here. I do that just to define the colors a little bit. All right, we're gonna start with the brown. I only work on 1/2 of the leaf at a time. That's why I draw that center line in there. Isn't that color already gorgeous? I'm going to touch some of the blue in there. It's going to make a lovely gray. Pretty. When I first saw these colors, I knew I had to get them because I have just never seen anything so beautiful in my life. And you guys are like, what? Trust me though, I was instantly just, I knew this color palette would speak to me. And it does. I'm not sure how it's going to splash on this paper, so it's nice that I'm checking that out as well. So far I've just done the blue and the brown. I'm liking what the splashes are doing over here. It's looking pretty. Some of the dark brown now. A little more water on my brush. I'm gonna go to the medium brown here. It's kind of like a mocha-y brown, even though it's a brown gray. It's really pretty. I'm gonna go around this hole here. All right, I want to connect some light blue. As I turn the corner here, I want to do a blue, and then I'm going to go into the yellow. So notice that I just picked a little darker shade blue here. Turn the corner. And then I want to go into the yellow. What they consider the yellow. Wow. I'm kind of watching it to make sure that it's not drying too fast. It's drying pretty fast today. Okay, I've got some crazy stuff happening over here. When you see that happening, it's just too because my book is kind of slanted that way. So my water's running that way. I'm just gonna blot against the edge. That looks pretty good. Just blot that little edge. All right, I do want to pick up some of the brown here. See how these two mix? I'm liking that line right there a lot. Some more blue. This is the thing about the colors too, is I wanted to really see how they mixed with each other, and you can see that even though they're opaque, they're going on very smooth. I'm liking that. They're kind of like the Kuretake Art Nouveau set. That's what they remind me of as far as the feel and the texture of the paint. So if you like that kind of opacity, you're going to like these paints as well. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow up here, I'm liking that color. And down here I want to get dark. I like my edges to be dark as they go by the stem. I don't know about you, but that's pretty darn lovely. Okay, so I'm looking now with my next leaf. I like them to kind of coordinate. So like here's a brown spot. I want to start brown there. I like them to almost look harmonious for where they're placed, and I like that. Let's add a little dark brown here. You don't have to do that, but I like the way that the end results usually are whenever it's like that. It's just looks a little more cohesive with one another. Just water. Go to the blue because I've got blue there and there, so I'm definitely going to go blue here. And I'm going to go dark blue down here by the end. Now, because I have the yellow up there, I want to add some yellow here, so as it goes up, it kind of reaches up to that yellow. There we go. And now you see, so it's got the blue here, the brown here, and then the yellow there, so they're kind of connected. That's exactly what I look for whenever I'm doing stuff like this. To me, it makes it feel more like family and more like they go together. I am using the medium and the full strength. I haven't gone to the lightest one, and I don't think I will because I like what the water's doing. Oh, I like how that's playing. Let's add a little bit more yellow over here. Pretty. These leaves were freshly picked out of my yard today. I went for a walk early on and looked for some interesting leaves, and I like the one with the holes. I usually am drawn to the tattered and torn ones more than the pretty ones. Blue. What I'm noticing is they really fling out with the water. Quite interesting that they do that. Now this leaf is on top of this leaf, so I want to make sure I get quite dark here. Okay, again, now I'm reevaluating, and I don't want to do a yellow here because that's yellow. Because remember, this leaf is in front of that, so I want to keep it fairly light, and maybe the light blue would be there. Let's see what that looks like. Too much blue here. Need a little bit of water. Want it to be a lighter value because it's on top. Okay, and then that's the brown, so I want to go into my brown here. I will have to darken that behind there. It's still wet. Let me try to do that. So that was that dark yellow. I don't want it quite that dark. There we go. I come in with a little bit more blue here. They go on like butter. This is just a really enjoyable set. I know I'm barely talking even. That means I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I'm smiling over here. I'm thinking about what colors I should put in. Wow. You can see I got crazy with the splashes here, so let me fix that. I can't believe how nice these splash, or move, I should say. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about that. Look at those gorgeous colors. Or in some instances, even like a lack of color. I mean, that's very pale. I really love that. I like how you have, now I talk a lot about edges, so like lost or found or hard or soft. So I want you to look at this edge right here. That is considered a lost or a soft edge because it blends with the paper. Where this darker blue is a hard or a found edge because it's harder. So you can actually see the edge. Here's another soft or lost edge right there. There is a lost edge right here, which looks really lovely. There's one right here, that little tip of the corner up here and up here. I really like when my art has the lost and found edges. I think it's more interesting to look at than if it was all solid. I like to have that variety of colors. I think this is why I splash. My favorite kind of light is dappled light. So when I splash like this, this gives me the feeling of dappled light, which is why I really think that I like the splashes in a lot of my pieces. So now we've got our little bitty hippo down here. She's dry, so now I can add some deeper shades with her. I did her with the soft pink, so now I'm going to do a little mix of the pink and the brown. If she's all pink, what she's going to do is just not have value. She's going to get more intense, and I don't want her intense because I don't really want her to stand out. Why I added her down here in this light pink, I want her to be discovered. So I want you to come to look at the leaves, but then be like, oh, look at this little girl here. She's so cute. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And that's kind of my aesthetic. I like you to come closer to discover things. That. Just got a little water on my brush now to soften these little edges. I want to make her a little darker under her chin here. Very cute. So cute. Okay, we've got to do the stick now. I'm going to take warm gray. Warm gray is this one here. I'm going to take a dark warm gray, and I want to add a little bit of the blue. I like blue in a stem. So let me add a little bit more of a warm gray here. Notice what I'm doing too is I'm kind of creating lines. I don't paint it solid. I don't want it solid. Pick up some of that blue now. It's a little thicker. And then I'm going to pick up some of the brown. Right now these are very cool colors, so I'm just adding that brown in there to kind of warm up the stem. Okay. I've splashed everything else, so I have to splash there. I'm going to take a little bit of that warm gray. Just deepen some areas in here. Gonna paint the swing. I want some brown, I think. That same brown up there. Bring it to my palette so it's not so hard and thick. My gosh, she's so cute, you guys. And then for the lines here, let's see, I think I'm going to do the green or the yellow. Pull lines best going sideways. Like I have a hard time pulling a straight line this way or this way, but if I turn my book, I can do straight lines better having my arm flow this way. Look how cute. Okay, gotta make sure she's dry. All right, we're gonna put on her eyes, and her eyes, I definitely want to be the warm gray. I want to get her shoulder, the bottom of her nose here, the shoulder, to kind of tuck that arm in. I want to come in now, let's see if that's dry. Yep, with a little bit more the warm gray, which is the dark. Okay, this little area here, remember I did it really light. I'm going to come in with some more of that blue color. Let's just give it a nice soft layering on top. I'm going to take some of the blue now, give her a little flower. Yellow for the stem, because it's like a yellow-green. I've got a Uniball Signo, a broad tip and white. Got to make sure the eyes are dry. There you have it. Look how adorable she is. I'm going to bring you up close so you can see all the beautiful texture this color palette made. Look at those splash marks. Delicious. I love that so much. And then here's her. She's very cute. And then there's the stem. And there is my Fuumuui painting. I just really love what the colors did here. This was the color palette again, and this was what it created. They blended beautifully. I love the splash effect on these colors. They really moved, which I was surprised by that. I really liked that a lot. I love the blendability. I mean, each color stood out on its own. You can see all three colors in there really great, but where they blended, it made a lot of pretty magical colors, and I really enjoyed that. If you were inspired by this Fuumuui color palette, please let me know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please click the button and click the bell so that you're notified whenever I have a new video out. And as always, thanks for watching.